Want to keep up with all the ins and outs of Washington's tax plan in one easy package? Tori Newmeyer has you covered. Businesses come in first under the tax plan that House Republicans debuted Thursday. Yet some of them have formed the point of the spear already aimed against it. The mixed reviews from the crowd that stands to reap some of the greatest rewards from the GOP's first draft of a tax overhaul reflects in part the complexity of a plan that cuts jaggedly across the existing code. It also flashes a red warning signal for Republicans as they try to compress the bulk of work on a once-in-a-generation project into what amounts to a legislative month. The plan's top-line benefits for business interests are plain. After flirting as late as Wednesday with a proposal that offered only a temporary cut to the corporate rate, Republicans instead rolled out a plan that dramatically and permanently chops that rate from 35% to 20%. While skewing more than two-thirds of its benefits to businesses both large and small. That amounts to about $1 trillion of the $1.5 trillion in cuts the package hands out, according to a preliminary analysis by the Joint Committee on Taxation released Thursday by the House Ways and Means Committee. But a motley though potent array of industry groups is aligned against the package. See the bill text here, and its ranks could swell in the days ahead. Before the plan was even unveiled, the National Association of Home Builders and the National Association of Realtors signaled their opposition, pointing to new limits on deductions for mortgage interest and state and local taxes. On Thursday, they were joined by the National Federation of Independent Business, the Small Business Lobby, a political powerhouse whose approval Republicans typically crave. The group said the plan doesn't do enough to relieve its members' burden, since it limits a reduced rate for small businesses that pay through the individual side to only 30% of their income. The Build Coalition, a collective of financial services firms, private equity investors, real estate developers and farmers, came out against the bill for scaling back the write-off for interest on business debt. And the National Farmers Union, a group that rivals INFIB's apple pie credentials, said it will oppose the package for what it called shifting the tax burden from top earners to the backs of American family farmers, ranchers and the middle class. Other industry groups released placeholder statements, praising the release of the plan but indicating room for improvement. The U.S. Chamber of Commerce, for one, noted that a lot of work remains to be done. Meanwhile, tax departments and corporate headquarters across the country spent Thursday sifting through the 400 pages of bill text to try to assess what the proposal would mean for their bottom lines. Big tech companies, blue state stalwarts unloved by Republicans in general and facing new heat from Democrats over their role in the 2016 election, are on especially high alert, industry lobbyists tell me. The proposal forces home their stash of overseas profits at a 12% rate, 2 points higher than they anticipated. And it subjects their future earnings to a new minimum tax, changes that could add up to higher tax bills for some tech giants than the ones they pay now. Representative O'Connor, a Democrat whose Silicon Valley district includes the corporate headquarters for Apple, Intel, Yahoo and eBay, tells me that he's perfectly confident that the tech companies in my district are going to do great. But an industry lobbyist lamented that the sector finds itself seemingly friendless on the hill all of a sudden. Wall Street, that other money center and a liberal bastion, got what Cap Alpha's Charles Gabriel described as generally benign treatment in the bill. That maybe shouldn't come as a shock, considering two of the Big Six negotiators who spent months behind closed doors developing a framework for the plan, namely Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin and top White House economic advisor Gary Cohn, just left financial services jobs last year to join the policy-making arena, both for the first time. Yet the industry, like tech, offers a juicy target for Republicans desperate for revenue and loath to look for it in their own backyards. Wong blog has this analysis of how the bill's proposed elimination of deductions would hit blue states hardest. The bill also favors financiers by what it leaves out. The package doesn't revive a bank tax included in the last comprehensive Republican tax package, from then Representative Dave Camp in 2014, though it would stop big banks from expensing assessments they pay to the FDIC. It abandoned a cap on tax-free contributions to retirement plans, to the relief of asset managers, and it dropped a Trump campaign promise to hike the capital gains rate for carried interest earned by private equity investors and others. Further, an idea that Representative Tom Reed R.N.Y. has been developing to impose a new tax on derivatives didn't make it into the bill, and it won't be added later. We were ready to go, but there are so many ripple effects in this world, Reed, a Ways and Means member, tells me. This is going to be a longer-term effort, once tax reform is done, to normalize a lot of what we were discussing, getting support from all the stakeholders and educating people off the committee. Much is still subject to change. But those businesses that find themselves on the losing side of the bill's math face a challenge. Tax writers use up all the deficit spinning leash the budget unspooled, so convincing lawmakers to write back in a preference means forcing them to pay for it elsewhere. The zero-sum battle will be joined as quickly as vested interests determine what side they're on. Read my colleague Stephen Muffson's rundown on how a host of other industries look primed to fare, including manufacturers, oil and gas companies, and the renewable energy sector, and this broader look from Heather Long at the bill's winners and losers, from the super rich to the working poor.